Hidden strength. Commander Elena Rice stood at the viewport of Artemis Station, Earth's most advanced and most secret orbital defense platform. To the rest of the world, Artemis was just another research satellite, but in reality, it was humanity's first line of defense against threats from beyond the stars. Status report. She called over her shoulder, eyes still fixed on the vast emptiness of space. The command center hummed with activity as her crew monitored countless systems. All systems nominal, Commander. Lieutenant Kaido Chen replied from his station. Defense grid is at 98% efficiency. The new quantum shields are operating within expected parameters. For 15 years, Earth's major powers had collaborated in secret, preparing for a day they hoped would never come. The Arecibo message had been sent into space in 1974 as a demonstration of human technological achievement. What no one expected was a reply, one that had been intercepted by a classified array in the Atacama Desert. The message was simple: "We are coming." That was 12 years ago. Since then, humanity had worked tirelessly, setting aside political differences in the face of a potential existential threat. Artemis Station was just one component of a vast defense network that spanned Earth's orbit, hidden from public view. "Commander," the communications officer called out, her voice tense. "DEEPWATC is reporting unusual gravitational anomalies at the edge of the solar system. Multiple signatures, consistent with large vessels entering normal space." Elena felt her heart rate quicken. After years of preparation, it was happening. Alert status Alpha. Notify all command centers and activate the defense grid. But keep everything in passive mode. I want to see what we're dealing with before we reveal ourselves. Across Earth, in underground bunkers and disguised facilities, military personnel prepared for the moment they had trained for. Unlike in movies, there would be no last-minute scrambling, no hasty plans thrown together. Earth had been ready for years. The Xilari Dominion had conquered 17 solar systems over the past 3 centuries. They had a well-established protocol for integrating new worlds into their empire. Initial observation, assessment of technological capability, and then a swift, overwhelming display of force. Resistance was typically brief and futile. Fleet Commander Tarvik watched from the command deck of the Dominion's flagship as they approached the third planet from the system's sun. "Primitive," he sneered, 6-fingered hands clasped behind his back as he studied the holographic display of Earth. "They've barely established a presence on their own moon, and their orbital constructs are fragile research platforms. Our preliminary scans show nuclear fission weapons as their most advanced technology." Sub-Commander Nix consulted her datapad. "They appear to have detected our arrival. Their communications have increased by 300% in the last hour." "Irrelevant," Tarvik dismissed with a wave. "Begin the standard approach. Deploy the Vanguard to their orbit and transmit the Imperial Declaration. We'll give them the customary period to surrender before we demonstrate our power." Nix hesitated. "Commander, some of their communications are unusual. They seem too organized for a species facing first contact." Tarvik turned to face her, his scaled skin reflecting the blue light of Earth on the view screen. "Are you suggesting these primitives could pose a threat to the Dominion? They travel between their planets using chemical rockets." Nix. "No, Commander. Just noting an anomaly." "Your diligence is noted. Proceed with the protocol." The Vanguard fleet, 5 cruiser-class vessels, detached from the main Xilari force and accelerated toward Earth. They positioned themselves in geosynchronous orbit over major population centers: Beijing, New York, Moscow, London, and Tokyo. On Artemis Station, Commander Rice watched the alien vessels take position. "They're following standard military doctrine," she observed, "positioning for psychological impact rather than tactical advantage." "Incoming transmission," the communications officer announced. "They're broadcasting on all frequencies, in all languages." A moment later, a holographic image appeared in the center of Artemis Station's command center. The alien was Bechtel, with blue-gray scaled skin and six-fingered hands. Its eyes were large and amber-colored, with vertical pupils. Inhabitants of Earth, the alien began, its voice translated by Earth's AI systems. I am Fleet Commander Tarvik of the Xelari Dominion. Your world has been chosen for integration into our empire. Resistance is not recommended, but your immediate surrender will ensure minimal casualties among your population. You have 24 Earth hours to comply. The transmission ended. Elena exchanged glances with her senior officers, then tapped her console. Patch me through to Global Command. General Wei appeared on screen from his command center beneath the Himalayas. Commander Reyes, I assume you witnessed the same transmission we did. Yes, General. Request permission to activate defense platforms. Granted, but maintain stealth protocols. Let's see what they do next. The Xelari, confident in their overwhelming technological superiority, began the next phase of their standard protocol. One of their cruisers fired a precision energy weapon at an uninhabited island in the Pacific, vaporizing it instantly. A demonstration, Tarvik announced in his follow-up transmission. That was 1/10 of one vessel's capability. We have 20 such vessels in our fleet. Your primitive weapons cannot harm us. Your submission will spare your species unnecessary suffering. On Artemis Station, Commander Reyes smiled grimly. They think that was impressive. She opened a secure channel to all Earth defense platforms. This is Commander Reyes. Operation Thunderbolt is now active. All platforms prepare to engage on my mark. Across Earth's orbit, dozens of satellites and space debris suddenly changed configuration, revealing advanced weapon systems and propulsion technology. The result of 15 years of reverse engineering alien technology from a crashed scout ship in Antarctica. Technology the Earth governments had kept secret even from their own populations. Sir, Nex's voice wavered as she stared at her sensor readings. I'm detecting energy signatures all around us. They're similar to our own weapon systems. Impossible, Tarvik snapped, but his confidence faltered as the sensor display filled with new contacts. Where did these come from? Our scans showed nothing like this. They were disguised, Nix realized. Passive systems until now. Commander, they knew we were coming. Before Tarvik could respond, Commander Reyes gave the order. All platforms, fire. Dozens of energy beams lanced toward the 5 Xelari cruisers simultaneously. The alien shields, unprepared for weapons of match technology, failed almost instantly. 3 cruisers were destroyed outright, while the remaining 2 suffered critical damage. Impossible, Tarvik roared, watching his vanguard fleet disintegrate. Launch all fighters. Target their defense platforms. But the Xelari were unprepared for what happened next. From Earth's surface, sleek fighter craft rose into the atmosphere. Craft utilizing technology the Xelari recognized as their own, but modified, improved. Major Jackson Carter led Phoenix Squadron from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. Unlike traditional rocket launches, these fighters used graviton propulsion systems derived from the crashed alien ship. Phoenix Squadron, weapons-free, he ordered as they rose to meet the incoming Xelari fighters. Remember your training. They're not expecting us to have this technology. Use that surprise to your advantage. The space battle that followed was short but fierce. The Xelari fighters, while advanced, were piloted by warriors who expected minimal resistance. They faced Earth pilots who had trained for years specifically to combat this threat, using simulators designed around the alien technology. On the Xelari flagship, Tarvik watched in disbelief as his fighters were systematically destroyed by Earth's defenders. This is impossible, he muttered. Their level of technology. They couldn't have developed this independently. Commander, Nix reported, her voice steadier now as she analyzed the data. The energy signatures match our own systems, but with modifications. I believe they may have salvaged one of our ships. Realization dawned on Tarvik. The scout ship, the one that went missing near this system 80 years ago. We assumed it was lost to a stellar anomaly. It appears the humans found it, Nix confirmed, and they've been preparing for us ever since. Tarvek's mind raced. The Dominion's conquest protocol relied on overwhelming technological superiority. Against a species with matched technology and home field advantage, the calculations changed dramatically. Order the fleet to pull back to safe distance, he commanded. We need to reassess. But Commander Reyes had anticipated this move. As the Xilari main fleet began to retreat, a second wave of Earth defenses activated. Hidden weapon platforms on the moon's surface, disguised as research outposts, powered up and opened fire on the retreating ships. They've been ready for decades, Nix whispered, watching more auxiliary ships fall to Earth's defenses. Tarvek gripped the command console, his pride warring with his duty to the Dominion. They had never retreated before, never faced a species that could match their technology. But continuing this battle would mean catastrophic losses. Full retreat, he ordered finally. Return to Dominion space immediately. As the remaining Xilari ships accelerated away from Earth, Commander Reyes opened a channel to Global Command. General Wei, the Xilari are retreating. Operation Thunderbolt was a success. On screens across the planet, in military command centers, and government war rooms, leaders watched as humanity's first interstellar battle ended in decisive victory. Well done, Commander, General Wei replied. But this is just the beginning. They'll be back, and next time they'll be prepared for our level of technology. Elena nodded grimly. Then we'll need to be one step ahead of them, General. The Athena Protocol. Authorized, the General confirmed. They underestimated us once. We won't give them a chance to make the same mistake twice. As the Xilari fleet disappeared into the depths of space, humanity prepared for the next phase, taking the fight to the enemy. Striking back. 3 months after Earth's decisive victory against the Xilari invaders, the War Council gathered in the subterranean facility beneath Geneva. Representatives from every major nation sat around a circular table, holographic displays hovering above its center. General Wei stood to address the assembly. The Xilari fleet has retreated to what we believe is a staging area in the Kuiper Belt. Our long-range sensors indicate they're calling for reinforcements, but according to our calculations, it will take their nearest forces at least 6 months to reach our solar system. Commander Elena Reyes, promoted after her leadership during the initial battle, studied the tactical display. That gives us a window of opportunity. We can't afford to wait for them to return with greater numbers. You're proposing a preemptive strike? The American representative asked, leaning forward. I'm proposing we take the fight to them, Elena clarified. Operation Athena is ready. Our ships have been prepared, and the crews have completed their training. When the Xilari had retreated, humanity had captured 3 of their vessels relatively intact. Combined with the technology already reverse-engineered from the Antarctic crash site, Earth's scientists had made remarkable progress. They'd not only matched Xilari technology, but had begun to improve upon it. The Hermes fleet is ready for deployment, Elena continued. 10 warships, each carrying a complement of fighters. We've incorporated our own innovations into their design. The Xilari won't be expecting what we've developed. The Council voted unanimously to approve the mission. Humanity would not wait passively for the next attack. They would take the initiative. Aboard the EDF Prometheus, the flagship of Earth's first interstellar battle fleet, Captain Dmitry Volkov addressed his crew on the bridge. For generations, humanity looked to the stars with wonder and hope, he began, his voice carrying through the ship's communication system. Today we venture among them, not as explorers, but as defenders. The Xilari thought us primitive, unworthy of respect. They will learn that humanity does not bow to tyrants, not on Earth, and not among the stars. The Hermes fleet departed Earth orbit using a modified version of the Xilari's faster-than-light drive system. The journey to the edge of the solar system took mere hours, a voyage that would have required years with humanity's previous technology. In the Kuiper Belt, Fleet Commander Tarvik faced the most difficult moment of his career. Explaining his failure to the Dominion's Supreme Council, the holographic figures of the council members stared at him with unconcealed disappointment. "You retreated from primitives," Supreme Councilor Vex stated flatly, her scaled features contorted in disgust. "Not primitives, Councilor," Tarvik corrected, maintaining his composure despite the humiliation. "They have acquired our technology somehow. The missing scout ship from decades ago. They must have recovered it and reverse-engineered our systems. A single scout ship should not have provided them with enough to counter a Dominion fleet." Another counselor objected. "They are resourceful," Tarvik admitted. "They improved upon what they found, and they were prepared for us specifically. I believe they intercepted our communications years ago and have been anticipating our arrival." The council deliberated briefly. Then Supreme Councilor Vex spoke again. "A reinforcement fleet has been dispatched. It will arrive in approximately 6 of their months. You are to hold position and await their arrival. Then you will return to this world and complete its subjugation, regardless of their technological advancements. The Dominion does not accept failure, Commander Tarvik." "It will be done," Tarvik promised, though privately he harbored doubts. The humans had proven far more formidable than expected. As the Council's transmission ended, Sub-Commander Nix approached. "Commander, our sensors have detected unusual energy signatures within the system. They appear to be moving toward our position." Tarvik stiffened. "Configuration unknown, but the energy pattern is similar to our propulsion systems, yet more efficient. They're moving faster than our vessels." Realization dawned on Tarvik. "They're coming for us." They built their own ships using our technology. He quickly issued orders. "Battle stations. All vessels form defensive perimeter. Launch fighter screen." The auxiliary fleet, reduced to 15 vessels after the Earth engagement, arranged themselves in a defensive formation. But Tarvik knew they were vulnerable. Many ships still bore damage from the previous battle, and they had limited resources for repairs this far from Dominion space. Captain Volkov watched the tactical display as the Prometheus led Earth's fleet toward the auxiliary position. "They've detected us," he noted. "They're forming a defensive position." Commander Reyes nodded. "As expected. They're still recovering from our first encounter. Their ships are damaged, and they're running on limited resources. But we shouldn't underestimate them. They're still a formidable force." "We have the element of surprise," Volkov pointed out. "They won't be expecting us to have built our own fleet so quickly." "That's why we've hidden our true advantage," Elena replied with a grim smile. "Activate the Athena protocol when my signal is given." The Earth fleet dropped out of FTL travel within striking distance of the auxiliary position. For a moment, both fleets faced each other in the vast emptiness of the outer solar system. Humanity's first interstellar armada against the remnants of the auxiliary invasion force. Tarvik opened a communication channel. "This is Fleet Commander Tarvik of the auxiliary Dominion. Your resistance is admirable but futile. Reinforcements are already en route. Surrender now, and your world may yet be spared total subjugation." On the Prometheus, Elena received the transmission. She exchanged a glance with Captain Volkov before responding. "This is Commander Elena Reyes of Earth Defense Force. We're not here to surrender, Commander Tarvik. We're here to offer you a choice. Leave our system immediately and never return, or face destruction." "Arrogance," Tarvik snarled. "You've stolen our technology and believe it makes you our equals. The Dominion has ruled the stars for millennia. You are infants playing with weapons you barely understand." "Perhaps," Elena conceded, "but we're quick learners, and we've made some improvements I think you'll find interesting. Allow me to demonstrate." She closed the channel and gave the order. "All ships, engage. Activate Athena protocol." The Earth fleet surged forward, weapon systems powering up. But something else happened simultaneously, something the auxiliary sensors detected too late. "Commander," Nix called out in alarm, I'm detecting new energy signatures. They're all around us. Hidden throughout the Kuiper Belt, placed there weeks earlier by unmanned probes, automated defense platforms suddenly activated. Each was equipped with a miniaturized version of humanity's newest weapon, derived from Silari technology, but fundamentally transformed. What is this? Tarvik demanded as his tactical display filled with new threats. The defense platforms fired simultaneously, but instead of energy weapons, they emitted precisely calibrated gravitational pulses. The auxiliary shields, designed to defend against kinetic and energy attacks, provided no protection. The gravitational weapons disrupted the very fabric of space around the auxiliary vessels, compromising structural integrity and disabling propulsion systems. Half the auxiliary fleet was immobilized in the first volley. The Earth ships pressed their advantage, conventional weapons tearing into the now vulnerable enemy vessels. Gravitational weapons, Nix whispered in horror. They've weaponized the drive system. How did they develop this so quickly? Tarvik had no answer. The Dominion had never considered using their drive technology as a weapon. The energy requirements were too great, the calibration too precise. Yet somehow, the humans had overcome these limitations. Send a message to the Dominion, Tarvik ordered. Inform them of this development. They must know what they're facing. But before the message could be sent, the Prometheus approached Tarvik's flagship directly. Earth fighters engaged the auxiliary defense screen, clearing a path for their capital ship. On the Prometheus, Alina gave the final order. Target their command ship's communications array. Disable, don't destroy. We want to capture Fleet Commander Tarvik alive. Precision strikes disabled the auxiliary flagship's key systems without destroying the vessel. As it drifted powerless, Earth Marines in advanced combat suits boarded using technology derived from auxiliary transport systems. The boarding action was swift and decisive. The auxiliary, while physically stronger than humans, were overwhelmed by Earth's special forces, who had trained specifically for this scenario. They secured the ship deck by deck until they reached the command center. Fleet Commander Tarvik stood proudly as human soldiers surrounded him, refusing to show fear despite his defeat. You fight well for a young species, he acknowledged. But the Dominion will not stop with this defeat. They will come with a force that will darken your skies. Commander Alina Reyes entered the command center, facing Tarvik directly. That's why you're going to help us send them a message, Commander. I will never betray the Dominion, Tarvik declared. I'm not asking you to, Alina replied. I'm offering you the chance to save millions of lives, both human and Silari. Your reinforcements are coming, yes, but they don't know what awaits them here. We've already begun constructing thousands more gravitational platforms. When your fleet arrives, they'll be annihilated before they fire a single shot. She gestured to a holographic display showing the captured Silari vessels and the defeat of their fleet. Send this to your Dominion. Tell them Earth is not to be trifled with. Tell them we don't want war, but we will finish any war they start. Tarvik studied the human commander, recognizing the truth in her words. The Dominion had gravely underestimated this species, and continuing the conflict would cost countless Silari lives. And if I send this message, what then? Then we negotiate as equals, Alina answered. A peace treaty, trade agreements if you wish. Earth has no desire for conquest, only to be left in peace and recognized as a sovereign power. 2 weeks later, in the Geneva facility, the Earth War Council reconvened to witness a historic moment. On the central display, a transmission from the Auxiliary Dominion's Supreme Council appeared. The Dominion recognizes Earth as a sovereign system, Supreme Counselor Vex announced, her tone formal but tinged with reluctant respect. Our forces will withdraw from your space. Fleet Commander Tarvik is authorized to negotiate terms for the return of our captured vessels and personnel. As the transmission ended, the council chamber erupted in cheers and applause. Humanity had not only defended itself, but had earned recognition from an interstellar power. General Wei approached Commander Reyes as the celebration continued around them. "This is just the beginning," he noted. "The galaxy now knows we exist, and that we're not to be underestimated." Elena nodded, her expression thoughtful. "They thought we were weak, primitive. Now they approach us with respect, perhaps even fear. But our true strength wasn't our weapons, General. It was our ability to adapt, to take what we found and improve upon it." "What do you think happens next?" the General asked. Elena looked up at the display, which now showed a map of the galaxy with thousands of stars, each potentially harboring other civilizations, other powers. "Now we take our place among the stars, not as conquerors like the Xilari, but as explorers and defenders. They underestimated humanity once. I doubt anyone will make that mistake again." As the Earth fleet returned home with their Xilari prisoners, news of humanity's victory spread across the planet. For the first time in history, all of humanity looked to the stars not with wonder and fear, but with pride and determination. They had faced their first interstellar challenge and emerged triumphant. The galaxy would soon learn an important lesson. Never underestimate the ingenuity, courage, and determination of the human species. Those who did would find themselves kneeling before the very primitives they once dismissed.